So are your employees leaving because of pay or benefits? Or is it that in 2026, trust issues and misalignment build up so quickly that your usual retention efforts came too late? Are you frustrated by surprise resignations from your team members? You thought they were stable and loyal, even though you pay fairly and try to be a good boss. Have you also noticed that when people leave during this cycle, they do it quickly and decisively, as if they made up their minds long before you realized there was an issue? Now do stay with me in this video until the end, because I want to show you 3 things that matter for business owners and founders like you in Singapore and Malaysia. First, why 2026 makes resolution behavior more abrupt even when nothing looks wrong on paper. Secondly, how to spot the difference between a high performer who is quietly misaligned versus a high performer who is simply tired. And thirdly, how to use the 八字 and 奇门遁甲, the way that I've learned, as a pattern recognition tool and a timing tool, so you can respond earlier instead of reacting later. Now, if this lens makes sense to you and this perspective helps you lead with more clarity and less guesswork, well, I'm asking you to do me a favor. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you have not done it, and share this video with someone who is a founder or business owner who often says, well, people are unpredictable while their team keeps losing members. You see, conventional retention suddenly feels useless. Now, let's talk about 2026. So everything, as you know, moves very fast. And this is what we call the fire energy, because people act before they think. So someone might seem fine on Monday, but by Friday, the person resigns without any warning because they make the decision during the week or the week earlier. That's why stay interviews and benefit changes can feel pointless. They come after the real issue has already passed. It means too late. Many founders and business owners overlook that in a fire-heavy year like now, issues like mistakes become more obvious. Tolerance is lower, and most importantly, what we call a lot of people cannot tolerate the slowness in work. Okay, so they talk about more work, less pay, enough punishment in terms of the emotion. And you know what? Sometimes you may ask, well, you need a better role, better timing, and they actually don't need any perks. That's the funny thing about that. So this is something you need to bear in mind as an owner and as a founder of business owners in Singapore and Malaysia. And then the next thing we like to talk about is the missing layer you are not measuring. Well, most leaders I know track things like performance, compliance, attitude, output, KPI, attendance, and maybe engagement surveys. Sounds familiar? But they often miss whether the role actually fits the person's natural way of working. Someone can be productive but still misaligned, and that misalignment leads to exits when things speed up like that. That's where the way Destiny Architect approaches 八字 is practical side, is practical one, because what we talk about is the data, and it's never about predictions. So once you understand someone's rhythm, you stop expecting them to be something they are not. In business, it means that you stop demanding loyalty from someone whose roles quietly drains them every single week. Okay? So when someone's strengths are ignored, what happened? Well, it's not just about lack of motivation anymore. Well, they may be gone missing, feeling invisible. Because in a higher pressure year like now, this feeling can quickly turn into a decision to resign because they no longer want to stay in a role that doesn't fit them. So then another question is that how Timon fits without turning this into a mysticism. Although on one hand, Bazi helps you understand how someone acts under pressure, 奇门遁甲, which is another Chinese metaphysics tool, shows you the best timing for important conversations. Leadership is not about what you say. It's about choosing the right moment, the right timing. In 2026, resistance can build quickly, and diplomacy may not work as smoothly. So instead of seeing retention as just an annual review, I will urge you to treat it as an ongoing strategy. So pick the right times to reset expectations, adjust the roles, and address issues early. And if you wait till someone is emotionally detached, feel invisible, the resignation is already decided, my friends. You are just waiting for the paperwork. So of course, some people will still leave no matter what. I'm not saying that everyone is meant to stay, as you know. But your goal isn't to trap anyone. It is to keep your best talent by avoiding misjudgments and acting quickly as a leader. Sounds good? Okay, so come to this part of the video. Here's the simplest way to use this approach without coming across as a fortune teller to your team. And I've got a person who asked me this question before. Hey Jack, can I actually use this method because I don't want to sound like another 八字 master or 风水 master? Okay, sounds very, very real and totally understandable. So I think the question you should not ask is, how do I keep everyone? Because that is not practical advice. Rather, you should ask, who is misaligned right now? And what would misalignment look like for them? So at Destiny Architect, our approach is this. We are not here to fix people. Everybody is okay. It's just about understanding the patterns and adjusting the environment so performance lasts. So if a high performer keeps pushing back against process, guess what? They may not be rebellious. They could be more focused on output, okay, by being forced into management tasks. And that obviously is a mismatch, which causes friction. On the other hand, if someone is always tired and withdrawn, now that doesn't mean the person is lazy. That might only mean that the road actually drains them. And in the 5 year like now, the exhaustion can quickly lead to them leaving tender resignation. So if a senior team member suddenly acts rigid, defensive, or controlling, I hope that doesn't happen to you. That if it does, it could be a sign of leadership stress, especially under mental pressure. So in 2026, leadership stress is a key theme when fire challenges the metal. If you don't fix retention, there's a problem. So what do? Now, you do not fix retention by adding more benefits, which I know a lot of business owners love to do in Malaysia and Singapore. You fix it by improving leadership discipline and clarifying the roles. So again, to conclude in this video, 2000 is not about causing people to quit. It's just that in 2026, it speeds up the consequence. So if your team has misalignment, trust issues, unclear expectation, or leadership fatigue, this problem will show up fast, which is why resignation feels so sudden, so happening, so obvious, so frequent. And if you want resignation to stop feeling like a random thing, you don't need more HR theory and courses. You don't need, actually. What you need is to spot the patterns earlier, match the roles better, and act at the right time. And this is how at Destiny Architect we deal with and apply Chinese metaphysics tools. Don't just wait and see. Read the environment, see the reality as it is, and take action so that things work in your favor. Okay? So if I would just ask you to do us a favor once again, click like to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it, and make sure that you share this video with someone, a founder business owner who often says that people are unpredictable. Okay? And most of the time, it's not the people, it's actually the leadership, timing, and role design. Right? So if you want more in-depth insights on 2026 leadership, team dynamics, and timing, which is presented in a practical, as you can see in this video, not superstitious, not a woo stuff. Subscribe to the Destiny Architect Telegram chat. This is where we move beyond the content and discuss the real decision-making process. Sounds good? Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.